Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel BethChatsBooks. Now today's video is going to be my August TBR. Now before I get into my August TBR, I just wanted to mention I'm really sorry that my videos haven't been consistent, or I feel they haven't at the moment, but I've had a whirlwind of a week. So I started a new job, which I mentioned before. I got my car this week and I've been doing very tentative driving, slowly getting used to having a car of my own, which still feels bizarre to even comprehend. And then I have had a very busy weekend. I went to Haydock with the family, and then yesterday I had such a busy day, and one of the highlights of my day was I met Jasmine from Jasmine Reads, so I'll link her channel down below, but I'm sure everyone who follows me knows who she is. She recently hit 1,000 subscribers. She is amazing, and I met her and her mum and it was just so lovely. We went to Waterstones, we had some lovely lunch together, and then we went book browsing in the library. So some of these books will be from the library that I picked up. But she's just such a sweetheart, and I was really nervous about finally meeting a booktuber in the flesh, but she's exactly as she is on her videos. She's so authentic, and I really do feel like I've made a new friend. We've already made plans for when she gets back from America, so just super happy. And I just wanted to tell you guys, but obviously I've just been here, there and everywhere, and my head's been all fuzzy, so I'm trying to film these and upload these for you today, and then next week I will have a little bit more order and everything hopefully shall settle down a little bit. Without further ado, let's just get straight into the TBR. So the first two books I want to mention, I'm so happy about. I've got some more poetry collections. So 9 Arches Press kindly messaged me after they found my video where I did a spotlight for Serin Books, and they said that it was such a sweet and thoughtful thing to do, so they also wanted to help me along on my poetry journey, so they sent me 2 poetry collections. The first is What Are You After by Josephine. Sorry if I butchered that. I just don't know how to pronounce things, and it's awful, and I'm awful. And the second one was Dirty Laundry by Deborah Almer. So these are stunning, and I do have the descriptions over there, but I don't off the top of my head know that much about these books, so I'm hoping you won't mind if I do a little blurbage. So we'll start with this one. Corcoran's dexterity allows her to get under the skin of each poem and to explore other lives with the same attentiveness and conscience she brings to her own experiences. What Are You After is also fearlessly personal and political. These resolute poems celebrate outspoken women and working class lives, refuse to look away from the harsh realities of austerity and poverty. Throughout, the texture of history, of long gone places and lost voices is discernible just beneath the surface of the everyday present, like a mirror's delicate silvering. Haunting and tender, these poems are a rare gift, generous, incisive and real. So that sounds fantastic. I'm really sorry, Josephine, if I keep pronouncing your last name wrong. I'm just very poor at pronunciation, and people who know this channel usually forgive me for that. So, but aside from that, I'm very excited. The cover is stunning. This particular press share the same distributor, I believe, as Serin Books, but don't quote me on that. But I will link down below their website. They have loads of poetry collections, and I'm also going to contact them because they emailed me and said that if I wanted to do a spotlight video on these books, to let them know so they could check in, and I'm definitely going to do a spotlight on these 2 poetry collections, and hopefully I can make poetry a series, and hopefully this can be the first 2 videos of many. So I'll link down below obviously the reviews I did on Serin Books, and then I'll read you Deborah's. So, the collection brims with poems which are unafraid of airing secrets, desires and untold stories, from growing up mixed race and learning to survive as a woman in the world to tales of the countryside, themes of escape and finding joy. This book of poems is as vivid as it is frank and fearless. There'll be no need for any tears, it'll all come out in the wash. That sounds fantastic. I love literature centred around women, obviously, most women do, and that sounds very unapologetic in its directness, and I'm very excited for that. So thank you so much, 9 Arches Press, for sending me these poetry collections. It's so exciting and fantastic to be supported on a poetry journey by some fantastic small publishers, and I'm so excited that they contact me so that I have the means to allow you guys to know about some smaller publishers, because I'm very passionate about raising awareness for smaller publishers instead of the big monopolies. It's so important to go out and take the time to research about new, small local publishers, wherever you're from or further away or national. Basically, I just think it's a really good idea, and so I'm really thrilled. And then the next book I want to talk about is Ben Okri, The Age of Magic. So Matt from MCS Books, who I'll link down below, he sent this book to me probably a month ago now, and we're meant to be buddy reading it in a very strange way, so I'll show you what I mean. So basically, he started writing notes in orange and I'm beginning to write them in purple. Then we're going to send it to Shazza from Hooked on Books and Jasmine over at Jasmine Reads, and they're going to have their say. So when we're finished, in theory it should be full of loads of different notes and things. But as you can see, I have attempted to start reading it this month and I am struggling a lot. I'm really worried. I was speaking to Jasmine about this weekend, that it's going to be a DNF because it is very philosophical at the moment, but it's this kind of borderline for me where I can't connect with it. It sounds like a stream of cliches that you would find on an Instagram post, and I cannot really connect. There's no real plot. The characters are airy-fairy, the plot's airy-fairy. And I don't know if it'll get better. I'm going to basically try and read another 100 pages, and if I don't like it, then I'll just write in the notes, this is where I DNF'd, because I spoke to Jasmine and she said DNFing is absolutely fine, and nobody in the group will think less of you for doing that. And I really wanted to love it, and it's putting me in a reading slump, and so if that continues, I might just cut it, but we'll have to see. So it's just about 8 filmmakers arrive at a small Swiss hotel on the shores of a luminous lake. Above them, strewn with lights that twinkle in the darkness, looms a towering Rigi mountain. Over the course of 3 days and 2 nights, the travellers will find themselves drawn into the mystery of the mountain reflected in the lake. One by one, they will be disturbed, enlightened and transformed, each in a different way. So even the blurb is airy-fairy, so make of it what you will. And then the next book is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I mentioned in my TBR that this was going to be next on the list of the Harry Potter kind of journey I'm on. This is where we start to get incredibly chunky now. I thought the Goblet of Fire was chunky, but the next 3 books are... yeah, the next 3 books, including this one, are a long, old ride. So, you know, I'm going to try and get through as much as I can this month, and hopefully this book will take me out the reading slump that the last book got me into. But I'm not going to go into too much about the plot. To be honest, out of all the Harry Potters, this is the one I forget the most about what happens. And considering it's such a big book, really I should remember more, but I always remember vividly up to the Goblet of Fire, and then this is where I get a bit shaky on the ground. So this is his 5th year, and he's going to learn some revelations, so even the blurb doesn't remind me. So, you know, that's that. We're going in. And then the next 3 books are books I took out of the library when I went with Jasmine. She got some beautiful poetry collections from Waterstones. I cannot remember the poet. She bought some beautiful poetry collections, and I got some books out of the library because I'm absolutely poor till I get paid. So here we are. So the first book is Home Fire by Camilla Shamsi. Now this won the Bailey's Prize this year. I feel like a right idiot because I took this out of the library and then found out when I looked through my books that my mum had recently read it and given me a copy to read. So now I technically have 2 in my possession. But the good thing is I can take this back, and hopefully if I love it, then I don't need to buy another copy. So it might work out in my favour. I don't know that much about it, so I will read you the blurb and hopefully you'll forgive me that I'm a really bad person who last minute filmed and didn't realise anything about the books. So let's go. Isma is free. After years spent raising her twin siblings in the wake of their mother's death, she resumes a dream long deferred, studying in America. But she can't stop worrying about Anika, her beautiful, headstrong sister back in London, or their brother Parvez, who's disappeared in pursuit of his own dream to prove himself to the dark legend of the jihadist father he never knew. Then Eamon enters her sister's lives. Handsome and privileged, he inhabits a London worlds away from theirs. As the son of a powerful British Muslim politician, Eamon has his own birthright to live up to or defy. The fates of these 2 families are devastatingly entwined in this searing novel that asks, what sacrifices will we make in the name of love? So that sounds absolutely fascinating. I've just noticed that it says a contemporary reimagining of Sophocles' Antigone. So I really don't know that original Antigone story, so maybe I should do some research after I read this, but it sounds really interesting. I saw it at my library and jumped at it because it's very rare that we have any new and upcoming books, but usually what's really good about our library is when they have really exciting books that were on any book lists. They're usually right at the front as soon as you go into the library, so I don't have to kind of faff around for them. So I picked that up straight away and was adamant I should have it, and without remembering I already had it. But there we are, I'm very excited to read this. And then the next book is in the other room, so I'll just insert a picture because I'm on a roll, and that's The Girls by Emma Cline. Now, I was feeling very hungover and sorry for myself when I went to see Jasmine, and we were looking through books and I told her I was really struggling through the day. So I kept picking up books and she kept saying, if you're in the mood you're in now and you just want something easy and you don't want to think too much, put that one down, that's too intense. So I picked up The Girls, and she recommended, she'd previously read it and enjoyed it, and she said if you want something that's just a fast-paced, easy, get wrapped up in it kind of story, that's a really good one to start. So I know it is about a cult with girls in it and a main leader. I know it is loosely based on Charles Manson's family and the cult he created. That's very obvious. I've only read the first page, and it very much references the exact scene of the girls driving up to the famous house that has the keeper's house on the edge of it, and that had the pregnant wife of the famous director, I've forgotten his name, and she had guests around. As soon as you read that, you know a little bit about the Manson cult and the family, and I've listened to a few podcasts and a few documentaries, and instantly the minute I read that first page, it takes you straight back to that. So it's very obvious. You wouldn't have to be clutching at straws to make that assumption anyway. But I'm quite excited to see where that goes, because I love things like the virgin suicides, where there's some dishevelled women and they're quite sad and it's quite tragic and it's quite dark. And I also love cults. I was following a podcast for a while that I religiously listen to every day about all the different cults, and particularly the Manson family is a very psychologically intriguing cult. And so no wonder this got so much hype when it first came out. But I'm so excited because I read the first couple of pages and I really think it's going to be a book I'm going to really enjoy. And I saw so many people have given it such good reviews, and people within the booktube community as well. So I'm feeling positive that it'll be a book that might have been overhyped, but one that I might really love. So there's that one. And then the final book that I'm attempting to read this month is A Spool of Blue Thread by Anne Tyler. I picked this up and Jasmine also had read it and said it's really good. I really liked the idea of this because she said it's about an American family in the 50s, and it kind of gave me vibes to Revolutionary Road kind of time period in America. I know that was about a marriage more specifically, but this is a family saga, that's what Jasmine said, and I love those kind of things. I think the books I've picked up, particularly The Girls and this one, are genres that I've been testing out since I started BookTube that I found I really like. For example, I really liked the Revolutionary Road and those kind of style of books, and I really like the Virgin Suicides and the Girls kind of vibe books. So I think I'll really like this one, so I'll just read you the blurb. So this is the way Abby Whitshank always begins the story of how she and Red fell in love that day in July 1959. The whole family on the porch relaxed, half listening as their mother tells the same tale they've heard so many times before. And yet this gathering is different. Abby and Red are getting older, and decisions must be made about how best to look after them and their beloved family home. They've all come, even Denny, who can usually be relied on only to please himself. From that porch we spool back through 3 generations of the Whitshanks, witnessing the events, secrets and unguarded moments that have come to define who and what they are. While all families like to believe they are special, round that kitchen table over all those years, we also see played out our own hopes and fears, rivalries and tensions, the essential nature of family life. So that sounds right up my alley, because I'm hoping that it's not just a basic family saga, that there's going to be some really interesting, deep, dark secrets and juicy bits to come out of this plot. So it's also going to satisfy the side of me that really just wants a quick pace and to get back into a reading momentum, because at the moment, particularly last week, I wasn't reading at all anything because I just started work and I was more focused on lunch prepping and making sure I had everything I needed. So I'm hoping that these books will get me back onto the reading train. Although I have been quite stupid and taken a lot of hardbacks out of the library and then read a big hardback this month. So considering I'm travelling to and from work, it might be hard taking hardbacks, but we'll just have to see how the month goes. So they're all the books I'm attempting to read this month. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button if you want to be alerted for when any of my future videos come out. And I'll see you very soon. Bye now.